Iya kan kau bel. Aku ibu bayi ni kan. Bebo biar, bebo ibu makan. Bebo ibu makan. Kakak ni, bayi orang tu. Aku sekarang nak tapi, oh, ibu kaki. Nak pergi macam mana? Kita doji. Kita ni ni anak. Awak le doji ke tu tu apa? Tu ni lawa aku ni nak tahu. Dia kau akan barakah. Kau tu situ barakah. Apa yang hei, sama saya. Dekat nak kau yang launa boleh kau tu. Dia ni nak ketong. Oh, bermakan apa? Dia cuci apa? Nak kau ni dong. Imanyawa mereka. Lalu ketong ada kudu bin imanyawa. Nak kudu bin imanyawa mereka. Akan kebe ni makan apa? Boleh je apa? Kami mila ketong. Kami ni alba kodina masih apa? Sekarang mereka mana alba kodina muka. Mereka ketong. Kudu karena pensi lah. Apa kau ben? Ahana, kalau aku perlu cuci, tahu nama tu filan. Aku enam lu. When drink come here, I do. So this why you bring here, cannot go back. Once you bring the bottle here, you can't take it back. If you take it back, you catch it. That means the story is still. So if you don't want to give him the drink you have, you can't bring the whole bottle. Fetch it. Leave the bottle far away. Come and give him. But once you bring the drink bottle, you cannot take it away. Minachi ya, akarija. Sasa kuje ni. Now look. Fumi. Rekabili boye kokoro chube tebo. Fumi ni futu ase. Na nyabe. Correct time usa an avosa. Il record vivia. An avosa, which is sacrifice. The best time is in the evening. The best time to do which is ritual is in the evening. But you can do it anytime that you can do that. You can even see that even though we will try to do it in the daytime, but somehow it will move to come to evening. Hello? Apa je suka? Yo, kuku tayo no guru. Na. Obo tane no yame. Na kenyi ni aketori. Na mi kwa jesi. Gudu. Na taba tuturu dure we. Na hasi ko bana. Gudu. Aha, ko benore. Ade pete sieta na. Uki nyanya tan mo yulu. Ahan wa mangala ken People who drink, they are no more in the house. They have gone. There are people who drink in this house before. They are all gone.
Warriors.
There's nothing you can do. Because they are coming, you're coming. Oh, Mahama, New York, call you by the Q1. I don't know.
What's your name?
Yeah, I was planning to do that. So I wanted to do the cowrie and kill the cowrie. I'm in the name.
No.
Amaraho. That's it. By the time you move, you become the one who will be in charge of everything when the old people are somewhere. So it's good. Enjoy you. I'm ready to follow you. And when you are praying to spirit, you should tell the spirit to protect you. Anybody play, and if anybody play with you, you should catch the person.
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be. No, because when I wanted to check the calorie, is it because I'm angry I shouldn't?
Yeah. So when you read, you can, it's like.
If I'm angry, I should not. Because the moment I'm angry means somebody made me angry. So for him, that person is my enemy.
Okay, so you are happy.
Okay, do better. I'm saying do better. Say not do that. Okay. Yo.
Yeah.
Never don't that I indeed. Never don't know you, but that I indeed. Then I naturally feel like quite a cover at Ballet. Never comment. Hello, I feel like the woman obey the let have an hour you let that I. If you can be that over, you know, what you do to do. When you like to walk with it, but I'm there. And you can have one. That who information come okay. Information go cassette player
oh, we are no like a block as a man. We are no continue everything.
Because we have how many minutes? Yeah,
baby, 38 minutes square, Misa.
Excuse me.
I may consider it. What we go hello?
Hello, c'est Blum, hello. Bébé. Ah oui.
Comment on
Bébé Blum, hello.
Match de voix café à on.
Any information totally.
Na kon wi open the dash na nya jagba
Oni ngana le yogo on ta tere un tonga o ya tere
kwa bia kwa do ko to ga ni do ana wa nya
Ndo che do.
ko mo mi ak tu mi choro
Ay, con un cabo muy bien. Presi con va.
Efa. Ya acuerdo con ella, con la cara con la pa, tope con coro de bo. Ni no ni fudo. Bo le mi va bo ya ro que le toca. Ni que mi que le sorbe ya. No le puedo. La sila mwana kama mbono kutia jana ile japo amekala hormone do
Gaya le ta.
sema mbono kutia por mal na vama
Sobe
Itu selepon. Itu selepon. Itu selepon.
Loro.
Cara. Alo. Itu selepon apa Alo.
Ada dua kapolan ada.
Dohara.
Nana no kala how
Nana dohara. Ah, doida.
Nana for hara.
Goblikodo. Ya va haka. Ya kon.
Less noise.
mi banamilo
Mesa akubia mesa na kono dak beneba le no fama lo le crowd le amusu sa
Ameke do harana jano pe akuno nkokura.
Nana me paro mai boni da fa boni obia ni okoto ka ka de go punya munya ni kwa okutu ava break
Don't
Hello, Revolution fans, African Magic Temple fans all over the world. Good afternoon to you from African Magic Temple. Good morning, good evening to you, wherever you are at this moment. Today is the 1st of August, Sunday, the 1st of August 2021, and we have another lucky day to have a Facebook live session. And here I'm your Bokor Christopher Voncujovi. We are now about to start, so please send in your questions and your whatever is bothering you about African traditional spirituality and what you want to know, what you don't understand. Please send me the questions and we will answer you here. Thank you very much. I'm now going to pour some little libation, call on my ancestors and the spirits and the energies that I am working with, so that I can now start. I want them to be my voice. I want them to be my ears. So that here I go now with this. So thank you very much, everybody who is watching us all over the world. Oh, ago mauga, ago mauga, ago mauga, mauga sobolisa meduago, mauga kitikata meduago, mauga ese joto amejoto, ese na nuame, ese tie nuame, woman obevi dokono bevi, woman obevi mebiana dokono bevi ugbe dokono bevi mebiana woman obevi ugbe senye popolipo meyo. Meduago, Yoshi Hamfora, she will send me for us, she'll pay Meduago, every abraxas, Mayosi, and Repuduago. Mayo Tagreto, Vimako, Vesoton, Cameo Meduago, Mayomianos or G, and Niduso Kakachikas, Bojabre, Ella Fabina, appear, living a brother, Juruhonia, Mayora, when I am Bama Floro, for playing Bamuduadica, when I have Mateku, Etega. Oh, my, I can't, but you can't, when I can't, I can't, you can't draw, I can't, you can't, if you can't, you can't, I can't, but if I remember, I had $1 compliment, if you have so much to do, Miami do that, Miami Hog Bambo, walk up, walk with me, Zango, Miami play, you have a Kenya Hog Best, and you are a job, that job, a fucking for the money, chicken for the food, and you could quite for me, Japan, gave a job, when you went to Ayamonju, to I'm quite a play, and you let them at all my job, two so woman of the Pelican, but I really happy job, on my job, you job at our fear. Chopata, let's throw a bed down. Have you found a lead? Chopata, then I think I jolly. Chopata, Chopata, the Mayo, as a body, you talk with it, but it is Bulu Ajima, or Bodu Brodo, come and Valentina and Vado, Jonah Kofu. I go Sapata Mayo, I think a Mayo, go over the way of La Fia. A Mayo, I'm a gas second, but Passa, yes, Tomagate, Mayo. Brahini meyo bochi meyo foli ko mo reke bo do kulu che kuma ko na da to bonyo ba kuto bene fana ni bobo bore mi an bobo na fana bo e ma io tonyo ko speku akubi yo nya ko so ko funi ko geje tasi nya mo si fusi jam ko so akobra mama nya bodu mba to nya ko kofi ni ma fa ni ya no kuto bana fana de bo relo e ma yo ko yin Celestine ya wa kubia Catherine akubia fo yin sese ko de funi ya oben akubia ma yo ni na tete kuto bana fana nya bo relo ya na bo na fana nya be du ni no si e ma yo awu no tuji Bokor tuji to tuji ma yo kin hasa ko ntia be bara subara na ma yo Bokor adafli so fa hu agbovi ma yo kuto bana fana mi lo ma yo Bokor afacha ajoge na kuto bana fana mi gbogbo re e me yo hono le va ko hono la vega kuto me fana ni me yo Bokor apo hono anani tretu le jita kuto me fana o me yo sofo o Bokor Abraham jivem le chami kuto me fana ni bo re na bo me fana ni ble vinyo dagbe egbe gani kosra ko me le mi apeti yo e me yo meyo hono le ba po hono la vega mega yo meke e meyo amabe tombe fiato Simon Kavi sapa kuto mena fana bo le sule kuto mete kuto mena fana mi dagbe ya te ko buga ke o ma Facebook live wa ko shi anza nya ngbe anu na nya to ana to ta ko mena gudu dagbe jema yo mi lo ye vi ko bonyo la tata ni matanya apeti o clever ville que mo kwa to ba do wa mo to ba de nya ate na me kan bete cheri ta simena gudu me yo afana go ma fa bo ma so ko to so le men da pa ki yo ko li meji ko meji woni meji so meji to meji abla meji akla meji buda meji sama meji kama meji truc meji to la meji le te meji che meji fu meji wala che to la clever ville que mo kwa to ba do wa mo to ba de nya de na me kan bete cheri ta simena pla e me yo abochi sakra kama chwa ba ya dogo kotokoli lonko kuma kwa ngbe to no le cho franta mani fifi kwa bisinka o ko fito jabaku o cho to ko fito hen ko via tra kable me yo to me ho ba to ba to ra ho bu me sa pa sa ni tu no hoto ko shi no hoto kere kuma yo mi ara kete mi abeki ni yasi na sim me nam anye ba no lo anye to na ta ko ba nam sia e nya te ba me yo bete ni ya no ko se le me da ba ne ba na la me se ne ba na me ne ba na ngogbe yi ne ba na me yo ji mo le ta pa na pota ne me yo le sono di mo le sono po no posro me yo de sono o de sono per sono me fa fare sono per me ne fa no me yo va la me le overi oh do la me ne do le la me no va la me ne se ngogbo yi ne ba me yo do di no po do no wo lo me yo le do mo le ta pa na do ne nje to di no kuntu me yo mi to me mama o pete vedu pete pour la me yo mi appelle pour do za pa nya po fi fo no appelle to agbe nya appelle to asinya appelle to o nu pupo nu no mi o no fo no asisi ku ga me yo ya ke e me yo de la po jo ami be fo na pa na no ji do gbe la o kha no a de proposa ja pe to ji bi po chien me yo mi ke mi ho ha na nya na da ba un bukero da yana to ne to ji na se ne ba gbe na gbe te pe na mi apete ke vignole appelle gbe ji pete mi akpero mi ayira mi na kha ba mo no ku na godo me we di na mkwa tagwe mama ke mo na oro ame mo na hala do mo ri talo anje mi ko mi no le fini de mi na fini ne fa ne gbe ne fa appelle fa mi no sia yeah, I'm done with this thing now, so let's go on to the Facebook first. We have Revolution fans here on Facebook. First, we have Salisu Abli. They say good, and then we have Osebu Moses. Say that whenever Osabu Moses, whenever we have Shamba Musa Mohammed saying greetings, Papa. Thank you very much, Shamba. Greetings to you too. And then I think those are the three people we have on Facebook so far, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then we are going to all the way to India. We have Mario Young. Good evening, Daddy and AMT family. Greetings from India. Thank you very much, Mario. How are you and the family? I am sending my regards to all of you. And then we have Nuku Ameibo saying, good afternoon, Papa. Hello, Nuku. Look at before. Good afternoon. Then we have our sister Juliet A here. Good afternoon, Juliet. How are you? Thank you very much for joining us. And I'm thanking all of you and the people, all of you who are on Clubhouse. I'm thanking all of you too for joining the section. Please bring in your questions and interesting questions so that I can answer them. And we are all learning. No one person knows it all. So we all have to always put our heads together and we discuss, and then from there we'll be able to learn from one another. There is no one who knows it. Nunya adidoi asimetunio. Knowledge and wisdom, they are like a baobab tree. You can your hands can never embrace it. Simply in English, knowledge is infinite, and one person cannot know all. Thank you all, and those of you who are on Clubhouse, please bring in your questions now, and let's see how best I can answer them.
Hi, Baba. I have a question regarding what you're speaking to your son, Stephen.
Yes.
About the habits, the plant medicine, and it's just so interesting that he mentioned the fact that Ewe has the freedom to allow you to be who you are. Mm-hmm. Because when I spoke to other Babylons, they put limitations on me. They try to put limitations on who I am as a person, and that's what made me not even. That's also what made me not even want to join here in the States, because a lot of it is, it's not the integrity and the control, the manpower. It's not something I like to engage in at times with them.
Okay, please, thank you very much for that. You see, the truth about spirituality is that a lot of people, especially people who have been initiated into Ifa, and mostly in the diaspora on the Yoruba line, they look at Ifa more like a religion than spirituality. That's the fact, and that's the truth. Instead of treating Ifa or Afa as spirituality, people are treating it more like a religion, whereby you have a hierarchy of people who will control you and tell you what to do and what not to do. You can't have your own freedom because your Babalawo say no, you cannot do that. You cannot even try to learn from any other disciplines just because your Babalawo will say no, when you go that way you will be confused and all this. That becomes a religion, and that's the truth. What most of us have run away from. That's why we started this journey, to get away from that control where one man or a group of people sit at the top and then decide your fate, your destiny in spirituality, which shouldn't be. Spirituality is freedom. And when we say Vodu as in our Ewe language, Vodu simply means liberty of the community. Everybody should have to be liberated. That's why I always say that the Vodu is not a religion, but a way of life, and each and everyone can worship God or relate to God in their own way. Once you have been taught the basics, you can relate to your God in your own way. So it is not right for any Babalawo or any Voodoo priest whatsoever to tell you that, hey, you shouldn't follow this, you shouldn't follow that, you should be this, you should be that. But that control doesn't give you freedom of knowing what God is. Nature is free, and if you have the desire to explore and experience or experiment, you should. Nobody should tell you not. All that they have to give you, they can caution you that, okay, the path you are going is dangerous or may be dangerous, but seek advice from the best teachers so that they can lead you on that path. That's all that is necessary. All this frightening of people and trying to tell you if you are doing this, you can't do that. If you are in this, you cannot practice another thing. It is not true. That is religion. And that is what most of us are running away from. That's why we are on this revolution of Voodoo or Afa or Ifa in the place, because we didn't want to be controlled how we will worship God. Because nobody has seen God before, and each and everyone is trying to interpret and translate what they understand about God to the other person. But no one should try to control anybody, because your God is your inner self, it's within you. Why should people try to control the freedom? They are not you. The feelings that you have, the emotions that you have, they don't have that. And maybe even the experiences that you had in your life, they did not have that. So why do they want to control you? Yes, they can be your teachers, they can guide you, but they must give you the freedom to explore on your own. And when you don't understand anything, you ask. That's why Senna and Penny set up the Facebook Live question and answer session, so that people who are confused and are not understanding what is happening in their spirituality, people want to belong, people want to relate, but because of these fears, they don't know what to do. So that's why this platform is set up, to be able to demystify the understanding and misunderstanding of this tradition, or African traditional spirituality. It could be from the Congo, can be from the Buganda, can be from anywhere, but it's all African traditional spirituality, but not African religion. And anybody who is just trying to control you is trying to make it into a religion. Thank you very much, please.
Thank you, Baba.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, please. Just mention your name, because I am on the camera here too. So if you mention your name, I'll be able to know who is speaking, because I won't be able to be scrolling everybody. So please.
Okay, so tell us where you're listening from. Okay, hey, this is my name is Cosmic. I'm from the States, DC. My question: I have a friend that's he was telling me he was having a conversation with another in Nigeria, and he was telling me that this Babylon said that there's such a thing as people that walk around without souls, and I told him that was kind of hard for me to swallow, but I told him about this club on Clubhouse, and that I would ask this question, get a little bit of clarity. If that's not too much, if it is, I understand.
Cosmic, thank you very much for that question. I don't believe that there is anybody walking without souls. Even animals have souls. Their souls may not be so, I don't know which English word to use, but like very conspicuous, like what the human soul is, but animals have souls. So how come a human being can be walking around without soul? Do you know that animals, they have fear? They have the desire to eat food. They have the desire to go and hide when it is danger or when it's night, so that they can take care of their selves until the next day. They also have the desire to procreate and have an offspring, so that they don't die. After their physical body is gone, their generation will continue. So animals have all these things that human beings have. So they have soul. The only difference between the human being and the animal, even that one I doubt it sometimes, is the desire to be great. So all the five fundamental this thing that gives life and gives happiness and everything, animals also have them. So only human beings have the desire to go to the great or go to God. But I believe that animals also have that desire, but then maybe their gods will be their masters that are in charge of them, that they just look up to you all the time. But apart from that, there is no one, I don't believe that there's anybody on this planet who is walking without a soul. Even those people who talk about zombie and all this thing, if the zombie doesn't even have a soul, how can he be able to act? How will he be able to act if he doesn't have his mind or soul? Even if the soul is temporary or the mind is temporary, it is able to act on its own at the time that they sent it to act. So everything has soul. I don't believe that there is nothing on this planet that doesn't have soul. The expression of their souls may be so minute in such a way that we as human beings, because we are not that subtle to be able to understand everything, so we may not notice. Because I am here, I can communicate with plants, and the plants can communicate back to me. And if you ask my son Senna and Pele and my students, I am teaching them how they can communicate with plants and how plants can even call you and tell you that I am here. So if the plant can communicate with a human being or a spiritualist by saying that, oh, you are looking for me, I am here. Why do you say they don't have a soul? They have a soul, but you cannot realize, we cannot see it just because our minds are not that subtle to be able to capture all kind of waves and vibrations that the universe is emanating.
I think I have a question as well. It's a bit of a bigger one, it's a bit of a grander one. But I don't know, because you had the thing at the beginning where you said you were going to call your spirit. So, what is the kind of, again, very big question.
It's okay.
When you speak to these spirits and stuff, you know, what is their solution for the liberation of black people or the empowerment of black people? Because, you know, the black people are, you know, are suffering today. So I'd be keen, whatever it is, wherever the information comes from, what they think is holding us back as a people.
Malobi, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that question. You see, in this universe, when God creates you, or when you come into this universe, from the day one that you have landed here, your destiny is your director. Wherever your destiny landed you, that is where you are supposed to start growing from. But then when you are growing, whether you live for a day and you pass on, does not concern the God that created you or sent you here. If you are able to live for 10 days, it doesn't matter. If you live for 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, it does not matter. It is all in your own hands. It is all in your own hands. You can choose to ignore the truth and you can choose to follow the truth. Yes, there will be situations in human life that may control you or put you under stress and try to destroy you whatsoever, because you are like you alone against the world, let me say so. So when the opportunity comes for people to develop or move forward in life and the people choose not to, don't blame anybody. The spirits don't care whether black people are suffering or black people are not suffering. That's the naked truth. But if you choose to move with the spirits, you will see that they will open the doors for you as an individual, so that things that may happen to other people may not come your way. But if the other people as a group do not want to accept and follow that way, that is their palabra. That's their problem. God does not care. So everybody for himself and God for us all. So when you reach and you understand that, oh, you must follow this way of life so that you can have life, if you think it is good for you, follow it. And somebody, you may tell the same thing to someone and say, no, I want to go to church because Jesus Christ is my God. Fine. It's up to them. But generally as a group, spirits don't have anything to do, our ancestors don't have anything to do to say that, oh, you should do this or spirit should do this, and then black people. Knowledge is power. If you are able to acquire knowledge, you will see the way other people who even hate you will treat you. It is totally different. But if you refuse to learn and you refuse to develop your own self, when they see you, they will treat you like a garbage. So it is up to us as black people, the world over, whether in Africa or in the diaspora, to know what we want, and we should learn how to get it. That's all that it is. So spirit world doesn't care, because when you die, you are not called black man or green man or yellow man. You are just another human being who has passed on. It's your spirit, your soul, your inner self, your esse or your ori is the one going to give you that direction wherever you appear again. So it is up to you as an individual to do your best to convince yourself and learn more and know more and be able to do more, and then of course be able to convince another person who is your kind that, oh, this way, I believe when you are following this way, certain things will not be coming towards you. But you cannot force the whole group as black people, because spirituality is not a religion whereby you need to be compelled and forced to follow it. No, it should be your own free will and your own free choice. And it is that we will learn and be able to liberate ourselves as a group, to liberate ourselves as a person, as a group of people, or as people in general. But there are so many people you can never talk about African traditional spirituality or African things to them, and they will understand. They will say, no, I'm not interested. I want to go to church. So let them go to church, and if church can do them, let church can do them. Okay?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that answer. Honestly, thank you.
Thank you too.
Hi, greetings, Baba. This is Tanya from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Okay, Tonya, thank you very much for joining us.
My question is, I have protection plants, and they tell me things, and they pop up in areas, and at first I didn't really get it, but now I understand.
That's what I was saying. You can communicate with plants. So when you say something doesn't have a soul, even plants have soul. If your reception is so damp in such a way that it cannot receive it, then that is that. And then they communicate.
Yes. So my question is.
Yes.
So okay. So I as I start to understand that they were connecting with me, I recently, ancestors brought me a house, and I'm so grateful. Yeah, brought me a house with a down payment. I didn't even have to come up with a down payment. They gave me a down payment. They gave me the house. They gave me exactly what I wanted, enough space for the family, enough space to grow. And I had put all of my plants in containers because I didn't want to put them in the ground because I knew it was coming. And I got everything to the new house, and I looked around, and there was little plants growing, and I didn't know what they were. And then once we moved in, I realized that it was like solid seal and rue and mugwort. And I'm like, that's all there is in this house. There's no flowers, no nothing. And I'm like, I'm starting to understand why those plants are here at this house and how I'm going to be using them for the time for myself and for a family member. But I feel like I don't have anyone to guide me with these plants. And there was one at my old house that I found right before I left that was poisonous. And it was calling me in, and I'm like, I'm afraid to really sit with it to understand what it wants to tell me, because
Tonya, I'm not cutting you short. You see, every plant, every animal, and every spirit or every entity has got a good side and a bad side. There is no absolute positivity and there is no absolute negativity. So whatever the plant is calling you, it wanted to tell you something. So just open up yourself and listen and get the information. I don't think it wants to destroy you or harm you. That's why it's calling you. Because it is probably already there before you came, right?
Right.
So it knows more about what has happened in that particular geographical area.
Okay.
So it's probably trying to tell you something or give you some information to guide you, because it also realizes that you are someone who loves plants.
Okay.
So that's why it also realizes that you can communicate, or they can send their message and you can be able to receive it and pass it on. So please, you just try as much as possible to connect with it, and then you will see. But I believe strongly the other plants that are with you will protect you as well, should there be any bad thing, but which I personally think there is no bad thing, because I use all kind of plants. Some are so poisonous that even if you eat it or it touches your hand and you don't clean your hand well, you could, and it enters into your system, you could die. But then I use these plants in preparation of certain spiritual baths and kind of powders that I use it to do good things for other people. So just open yourself to them. They will connect and communicate with you. You're welcome, Tonya. Thank you very much.
Greetings, Dr. This is Nana Kokosechi.
Hello, Nana. Hey, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much, and peace and love to you and your whole family.
Thank you. The same to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. How is Techiman treating you?
Oh, Techiman is about an hour and away, actually. So we're a little further up at Katambos, but it's nice. It's okay.
Okay. I thank God for your life and all the energies that are protecting you. Thank you very much, and my regards to your family. So please come with your question and answer.
Okay. Yes. My question is it's about when you're working with a specific plan. It's working for you. Is there ever a time when that plan maybe it won't work?
Yes, there could be some times that plant may not work the way you wanted it to work. The reasons may be either you are abusing it, or you probably may have had sex and you did not do proper purification. If the herb is a herb that when you have sex you don't need to approach it. So with these two, and then maybe you have done something, or when you are about to cut a plant, even not the one that you are keeping, sometimes the plant also feels fear that you are coming to destroy it. Once you have the mind that you are going to cut it down, the plant knows already. So when you do, maybe you cut certain plants down and now you are coming to treat this one very nicely, that one will feel like, oh, you've just destroyed my brothers or my people and now you are coming to me. So that time also sometimes it will stop to work with you the way it had been working before. That's why in Ewe Vodu, before you go and harvest any plant, you have to pray. There's certain kind of ritual to go through. You will do that ritual to one of the plants, and now you ask permission from that plant that you did the ritual to, that okay, now I want to harvest some of your family members to go and use to help my own life and help the life of other people, because that's what God has created you for. But when you are here, you are just a grass in the bush. I want to bring you to make you into herb. In our language, there is two words for a plant. One is herb and another one is grass. When it is just grass, it is useless. But the moment you bring it into becoming a herb, then it becomes God. So Nana Kukosachi, that's it. I hope this will clarify something. If not, you can still.
It was excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you too. Yes, we are on. Let me just take one or two greetings from Facebook, and then I'll come back to Clubhouse. So those on Clubhouse, please be preparing your questions. And we have our sister Vivian Baka saying, hello, Papa. Hello, Vivian. How are you? Looking for and then we have our brother Solomon Boatin in Canada saying, I salute Papa and AMT families. Thank you very much, Solomon. How are you? And then we have Godson Turbine. Is it? Godson Turbine? Yeah. Grandpa, I'm monitoring closely. Godson inside Clicker. Okay, thank you, Godson. Thank you very much. We are very grateful for you joining us at Pekaka. Then we have our brother in Germany, Ebenezer Bonso. Greetings, Papa and AMT family. Wishing you all blissful new month and rest of year. Thank you very much, Ebenezer. We're wishing you well too. I've been seeing your videos and very interesting. You'll be eating fufu and something very serious. That's good. I am happy for you that you are happy over there too. Thanks a lot. Then we have our brother Henry Hansen. Good afternoon, Papa. Hope you are fine and the family. Yes, Doc, we are fine. Thank you very much, and hope you are fine too with the whole family. Thank you all very much for joining the section. I'm very grateful. Yeah. We have people on the what do you call it, on YouTube. We have Mario Young again in India saying, Daddy, I'd like to know if someone needs assistance, is it better to go to Joka or Vodu? I was told that Joka works faster, but I'm sure it also has repercussion. Could you shed some light, please? Okay, what is Joka and what is Vodu? They are all the same. The Ewes have different words depending on the dialect, that the Ewe dialect that they have. Some people call it Joka in their area, some people call it Vodu, some people call it Bokor. All kind of dialects within the Ewe language. The thing with Joka is that Joka is very fast. It's also sometimes made with herbs or purely mantra or besa, which we call in Hinduism or in India Sanskrit mantra, and the Hebrews will call it them holy words, and people from different places will have all kind of names for them. So Joka is like mantra. They will just give you the mantra, and when you are in difficulty, you pronounce the mantra, and nature takes a different turn altogether in your favor. That's what people say. I have plenty Joka, and I have a lot of Vodu also. So it is not that Joka is a negative thing like the way people are saying it. But Joka, if it is given to a person who is not really mature in spirituality, they may use it to harm people. This is why people say Joka is bad, because in the hands of the uninitiated person, or in the hands of people who are not very well balanced in life or in society, they get Joka and then they use it to attack people, because it's just one single word they will say and you can go mad. They can just say one word and you just run and jump into the well or go and take a leash and hang yourself. That's what Joka works. Vodu does the same, but the Vodu will go through a longer process of putting herbs together, doing a reading, and then making a ritual to make it happen. But Joka is an instant thing. It's like instant noodle. You know, when you have a noodle, you can go to a restaurant and they'll cook the noodle, or even they'll make the noodles there. And then in front of you, they'll start to cook it, and later they'll serve you and you eat. But then there is also the instant noodle you can get in a restaurant or on the pick it up at the counter, pour hot water on it, and you have eaten. So Joka in spirituality, or in every spirituality, is more like an instant power which it is available to you in times of danger, that you should use at times of danger. Whereas Vodu or Bokor or other things that we call in this thing afar or other thing, you need to go through certain process and then make it permanent. Joka is very fast, but it does not last for a very long time, in the sense that it is that moment you use it that is when it works. It's not going to work on the person. If the person ran into the bush and killed himself, that's the end. If the person goes and take a leash and hang themselves, that is it. Or if the person, they are holding gun and they want to shoot you, and you mention the besa, the Joka words, which is the besa, to them, and they turn the gun on themselves or turn it on their friends and shoot them, that is it. That moment, then you are gone, because Joka is supposed to deliver you from danger instantly. It's not now that you are going to do a reading, you are going to set up a farm mat to see what rituals to do before you overcome the danger in front of you. It is a danger, it is something you can use to avoid danger or get out of danger. That's why people are usually afraid of it. because it's an instant power, instant changes in nature at will. This is what makes it different. So it is not dangerous, and there has no repercussions if you go to the correct teacher. But of course, people get it and they go out and they just use the joker to try somebody to see whether something will happen. Like what we call in Ewe Vodu. I don't know whether you people have heard it before. Vodu means a shotgun. But a shotgun has nothing to do with a gun or anything. It is just your finger. You point it at the person. You mention the joker words, and the person will get some things to hit the person that will disturb the person's peace. That is called tukwe in our language. These are jokers. They are not vodus. They are jokers that are instant. And joker usually is done or made because of dangers that our ancestors will face when they are traveling on their own or going from one village to another, and someone wants to attack you, or some animal wants to attack you, or things want to attack you. That is when you use joker. It is not for demonstration or to be showing off that you have joker. Joker is not a negative thing in its real form, so there are no repercussions in it. But in nature, if you choose to be doing bad, bad will come to you. That's how that I can say. If you do good, good will come to you. Thank you very much. Who was I speaking with? Is it Mario? Mario, yes, it was Mario from India that I was talking to. And then we have Fase Jibezan Sesoka. Greetings and good day, Papa. Bokor Enuledo now, Bokor Jibezan. Thank you very much. I hope you're well and everything is going well. Great to see you today. Yeah, thank you. I feel better now because during the week the fever, maybe it is out of tiredness, fatigue. That's why I was down, but now I took enough rest and I am feeling much better today. Thank you very much, Jibeza. Welcome to the program. Then we have Mario again, Mario Young. One of my friends had contacted someone in Ghana, and the person promised him that any work he does will materialize within 7 to 10 days. So I checked with another person and he said that's joker. Mario, don't worry yourself too much. People can give you a lot of promises when it comes to traditional spirituality, whatever, and don't put your mind on it that they say 7 to 10 days everything will materialize. But the truth is that if the person who does it and it doesn't materialize, it will destroy your faith and your desire in traditional African spirituality. That's why when I am teaching and I am doing things for people, I don't give time. I'll just tell you that what I am doing for you, it will work. Let's look at nature. But no matter what, it's going to work. But I'm not going to give you a time to say within 1 day, 2 days. Because maybe the time nature will take to make it work for you may not be within my time. And I am not God and I'm not a spirit. But I know that the process, because it's a formula, and the formula, if the formula is right, then of course the answer will also be right. So those 7 days, 10 days things are mostly, if you are not very careful, you may be dealing with a scam. Scammers are the people who promise people more than they can do. They say things, and after all, after you spend your money and everything with them, you don't see any result. You cannot go back to them because they will just be gone. So don't put your mind on 7 days or 10 days, because even no matter how hungry you are, when you plant a corn today, it can never grow today. It will take some time, at least a week before it will shoot out of the ground. And even if it shot out of the ground, it is not going to be ready for you to eat that day. But when you nurture it, you weed and you give it water and take care of it, one day you will have plenty corns to eat, not that single grain. So that is what African traditional spirituality is in its real form. That's why our teachers and our fathers never told us, oh, this thing I'm giving you, or within this days you should realize. They'll just tell you, just relax, it will happen. They know it will happen because they had experience with it, and then your time and their time may not be the same. The time that God will make things happen to you is different from the time that God made things happen in their life. But they will tell you that it's going to happen. So just relax. And I have learned this from my old man for several years, and I have watched, and now I am also growing, and I'm beginning to see that you don't have to be in a hurry for anything. But be constant and be steady, but don't be in a hurry. You will get there. Thank you very much, Mario. And then we go again, Mario again. Mario, he has also mentioned to me that Joker isn't the best. It's just a quick fix, but the repercussion will be there. So just wanted to check with you since you'll be able to give the correct answer. Yeah, Mario, Joker, as I said, is a very quick way of doing, bringing changes in nature. But it is not always that it is having a repercussion. Because when you are attacked by armed robbers, for instance, or you are attacked by people, whether physically or spiritually, and you are able to neutralize their attack, what repercussion should be there for you? Unless, of course, you are getting the Joker in order to attack people, then the repercussion will come to you. Don't forget, there is a law of karma, the law of nature. Whatever you do will come back to you. Mario Young say, thank you for the explanation, Daddy. I will inform my friend. Thank you very much, Mario, for all these questions. And other people are learning. We are all learning from this. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's go back to Clubhouse, and let's continue with Clubhouse.
I have a final question before I head out, that's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the herbology conversation is quite interesting because the modern medicine can be quite expensive for people, especially in rural communities. So I was thinking, is there a way that we can modernize or bring more access to the knowledge of herbs to the next generation, maybe by putting some of that content online, like I don't know, YouTube videos?
Yeah, you see, Malabi, you see, the point in our tradition is that you don't know who is a good person and you don't know who is a bad person. Every herb that you see that can do good and can cure people can also do evil. That's why I said earlier, there is negative thing to everything, good and bad to each herb. So when you put certain things out there and people learn it and they begin to use it against other people, then you have no control over it. This is why our ancestors do not teach people who they do not initiate or who did not come directly under their tutelage. Because there is danger in voodoo and there is life in it. So when you just leave it out there, because even within my own little children in the house, there are certain things that were handed to them, and when they get angry, I see how they want to react. And because I am present, if I'm present, they are scared of me, they won't react. But what about if I am not there? They could just use it like that. So this is the reason why our people wanted someone who is under training, who has been trained to know it. That's why in our society, there are people who learn about the herbs and know how to administer them correctly to people. But then to be generally online, yeah, they will be there, but the herbs also come with words. There is not just like the herb and herb alone. There are certain words you call, or certain names you call the same herb, and it will do different things. When you call the herb, let's say you call him A, it will do the work that A does. And you call it C, it will do the work that C does. The same herb. Like this morning, I took my son, Senna out. I saw some herb and I wanted to teach him. And then we went out and I was telling him about the herbs that what this herb does. And this is the name. When you want it to do this work, you say this. When you want it to do this work, you call it this name. When you put these things out online, I understand your point very well, because we don't want to lose everything. So, but then when you put these things online or in open space, a whole lot of things will go wrong. And now that will even make voodoo or our tradition more evil than it's been labeled already. So let us keep it this way. If you want to learn it, and the teacher should teach you and also give you the rules and the regulations of being a herbalist or a priest, someone who knows how to administer herbs to help humanity. Then you are guided by such rules and regulations. So in case you made a mistake, the very things that you are using to work are the ones who will punish you first.
Thank you for your explanation.
Thank you very much. Yes, hello.
This is Kiki. I just wanted to ask you, throughout your experience, have you encountered Joka from other cultures or other people, like tribes or something like that? And also, what kind of stories can you share from your experience in regards to Joka itself?
Oh, every culture has Joka. What I may say is that the ones that I had experienced mostly were within the Ewe culture, but okay, take for instance the using knife to cut yourself. Okay, to use knife to cut yourself or attack yourself, and it is not cutting. It's a Joka, it's not a voodoo. Kiki, are you with me?
Yes, Papa, I'm with you.
So that is a Joka, pure Joka. It is not voodoo. Because why did they give you that kind of key? So that when you go anywhere and somebody wants to attack you, you just mention the word. The person attack you, but the knife will not cut you. Or they use a club to hit you. You pronounce a word, and the club will just, or the wood will just break into two. Or somebody takes a gun and wanted to shoot you, and then you mention the name of gun, and the person they want to shoot, and it will just freeze. Those are Joka. And within my culture, Ewe culture, and also I think within the northern Ghana culture, from Brong Ahafo, all going to the north, to the northern Volta region down to lower Volta region. Those things are all there, and I have seen so many along my way, and that's why what I am learning, I'm learning from what I don't have. I learn when I see something that interests me, I learn, but I'm not using it for demonstration, anything. It's only when we are doing festival, then sometimes these things we are just using it as entertainment. But I believe it is everywhere, because when I was in Kenya, I brought certain things also from Kenya, and it's also their own Joka and their voodoo, and I got some things from Kenya I brought back to Ghana, which I still have with me. In every culture there are so many things, so it's not only limited to Ewe culture or Yoruba culture, but then I think that generally Ashanti, Akan, just mention it. We have it in almost every culture around the world, not even only in Africa. But before, okay, like in the Philippines, where I had also stayed for some time, they also have this. They have this thing they call the initiation into the nights of kind of. It's a link with Catholicism. But you know what they do? I think it's even on on YouTube somewhere. They use knife just like us. And when they do all the thing, prepare you, bath, and give you the protection names. And when they use the knife, when they are initiating, they will use the knife to cut you, but it will not cut. Then they know you are cut. They will accept you into this. I'm sure you people should check on the net and find out the Philippines where some group of knights. They are linked with Catholicism, yet still they are having their own traditional spirituality that is mixed with Catholicism. You get this. They also use knife and try to attack each other with knife to prove that the power is working. So it is not only limited to what do you call it, Africa or Ewe Vodu.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Kiki.
Awesome, Baba. Thank you. I'm learning so much. I'm just, wow.
That's why the Revolution Facebook Live question and answer session is very interesting place to be. Yes, we having a question.
Yes. Thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate it. And all is well with you and your family. I grow produce, small farm, but it's indoor, controlled environment. And as I was hearing you talking earlier about talking to
plants,
talking to herb, yes, talking to plants, it just made me to be interested and wondering, because sometimes I have issues with a lot of times I have issues with mold, and so I grow for profit, selling, and I was just interested in wondering if there was something you could advise or something you could tell me that would enrich my relationship with this produce. It's very fast growing, and the process is very fast.
I would say that if I Bemi, is that the name?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would advise that when you go, talk to the plants as if you are talking to somebody. Talk to the plants as if you are talking to a friend, a partner, a colleague. And if you like, sometimes you can play music for them. The music that you like, play it for them. Do you know that when they are doing beer and alcohol and they are put them in the cellar, they play classical music for them? When they are doing alcohol, they are fermenting them or they are brewing them, and they keep after they load them into the bottles for them to grow, they play classical music and some music for the alcohol?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why do you think that if they are playing classical music for alcohol, so that the alcohol can be very good, especially whiskey and all these things, how much more plants that are growing that you can see them growing? So you should relate to them as if they are your family, because they are your family. It's not that they are sick; they are your family, because it is through them that you are making a living.
Correct.
So you must relate to them as your part of your family and treat them as such. Don't treat them just like grasses and bushes and herbs, but you must really be close to them. You can ask my son, when my plants have not been watered, the way I get angry. If I'm not at home and the children don't water their plants and I realize that they have not watered it, I get so angry because I feel so as if it is me who has been denying water. As if I am the one who has been denying food. And I don't take it easy at all when I see that in my absence, the plants and that are the herbs that I'm using have not been given food.
Yes, sir.
So when you treat herbs like that, the herbs also can know, they can feel that you are special to them, and when you ask them for a favor to help you make your living, they will, for sure. I have had experience over the years, and maybe Senna can talk about his own experiences with herbs, even when he was in school in the university in the US. And sometimes when the time I taught them how to be able to connect with herbs, there was a herb that he was trying. We had it here, but he went into the forest at the back of their school, and the herb was calling him that he was there. And then he saw the herb, and then he had to say, "Hey, Papa, I saw this herb in this part of our school, and I'm not sure." But he was calling me. I went closer to it, and I said, "Okay, then you break it, and then if that there's a white liquid, milky liquid comes out of it, then it is the same. Even though it may look a little bit different from the one we have here, but it's the same." And he did it, and it was the same. And my son Pele was in, I think, is it Costa Rica or some country? I think he was traveling in somewhere in South America alone with his friends, and he met a lot of herbs in the forest, and they were all calling him, and he was telling me, "Papa, oh, I met this herb. It was calling me before I came here. It was there. It was the same one." So herbs communicate. If you are very subtle, you will get their information or messages.
Thank you. blessing. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you too. So let's take 2 more questions from Clubhouse, and then I go to Facebook.
I have a question, Baba.
Yes.
Is it possible, this is Bliss again.
Yes,
Is
Bliss.
it possible that as a high priestess that you can have 2 husbands?
In a spiritual world or physical world?
Both.
No, it's up to you. If you are a woman and you want to have 2 husbands and your man understands that it has nothing to do with them, you don't have a problem. It depends on the man or the men who are going to be in relationship with you. There is a woman in I think Congo or somewhere who is married to about 7 husbands. She's a high priestess, and she's married to 7 husbands, and all the husbands are living together and in peace. They don't get angry with each other. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
No, it's happening. It's happening. It's not anything. When you go to the Republic of Bhutan, at the north of the world, at the north of Nepal or India, Bhutan, women marry 2-3 husbands. That's what it's there in their culture. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
I know, and that's why I had to ask, because my uncle had 7 wives.
Yeah, as a man.
He's Muslim, you know.
Yeah, even if it's not Muslim, Africans have been having plenty of wives. My father had 10 wives.
Yeah. I appreciate you. One more thing, Baba.
Yes.
When someone, like before I become an initiate, what if I meet a man on the path that may not be a part of the same house? Is there a conflict? Because I was told by one high priest before that there's certain people you can't marry. You have to marry certain people, like, certain tribes marry certain tribes, So it's like the same concept, sort of, within the realms of the spiritual community. I was told, like, for example, Abatala, if your head is Abatala, Oshun goes well with that, because Oshun can be hot, and she needs someone to listen to her. Like, that's what I was told. Is that true?
That can be true in many ways, but then it's not always true. In the sense that when you talk about Ifa, like the Yoruba lineage of Ifa, which is the original Ifa, they have their own discipline. But when Ifa becomes Afa in Ewe Vodu, we don't deal with Obatala and Shango as the main things. We have them as individual spirits or individual vodus on their own, like in the Shango is Hemiaso in Ewe, or so in Ewe the voodoo, whereas it is called Shango. Obatala, I am not very sure in Ewe voodoo, I don't know the name. But when you are doing a particular, following a particular discipline, and then that discipline is giving you your way, the way you live your life, should you go and get someone from a totally different background who is not in is it conformity or is in agreement with what you are doing, you will not have the peace of mind to practice what you are practicing, because your partner may not be in agreement with that. And when your partner is not in agreement with what you are practicing, it will disturb what you are doing, and you may not be able to absorb and be able to get everything out of what your practice is to give you or is supposed to give you. This may be the only way that they have to advise you, that don't get married to someone who is not in the same line with you, so that you can have peace of mind and practice what you are practicing, so that you can reach your maximum goal. But if you are you and your husband have got an agreement, or you and your partner have got an agreement that, okay, you can practice what you want to practice and then allow me to practice what I want to practice, then there's no problem. But should you people have offspring or have children, where do you want the children to go? To which line? But then if all of you are thinking on the same line, then it is easier for you to be able to raise your children in a way that they can become helpers to the society tomorrow when you are no more there. So in that sense, they can tell you that you should try to marry from the same discipline where you are learning from, or from the same philosophical line from where you are learning from, than to go outside it and bring someone who will not agree with what you are practicing, and it gives conflict, and you will not be able to grow very well. So I think this is the only advice that this may be the only reason why they advise so.
Yes, Papa, thank you. You confirm things that I know you are the truth, the full truth. Because you confirm a lot. I mean, you can even confirm a lot of things that I found too long. So I appreciate you, but I love everyone on the stage, all the powerful men, all the powerful. Oh, everyone, just thank you. I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you, please. Thank you for the question. Thank you very much. And then we want one more question from Clubhouse, and then I'll go on back to Facebook and YouTube.
Salutations, Baba.
Yes. Okay.
My name is Sandy. I'm calling from the UK.
Okay.
Please forgive me. I'm on my spiritual journey. I'm still trying to find myself, having been disconnected.
We are all, Sandiata, we are all on our spiritual journey. No one has ever reached the end. So don't feel as if you are new. Everybody started from somewhere, and we are all still on journey, learning from one another each time. So don't feel as if you are just beginning, so you don't belong or you are not anybody. You are the same like all of us.
Thank you for those kind words, but that really meant a lot. And I feel my chakras being awakened as I speak to you today. I was in Ghana. I've been to Ghana many times, but this is one of the times my earliest visits to Ghana, and we did a visit to Benin when I was there.
Okay.
And when we were in this particular town, there was a big park that was going on. This was because a man and a woman had been found in a motel room. They were having an illicit affair. They were married to different people. Yeah, the big thing that happened was that they were stuck together in the room.
Yes.
And they'd been there for many hours together in this compromising position.
Right.
And eventually they had to call for help. So everybody went to this hotel, and there was enough confusion as to what was going on. They tried to physically pull them apart. And my understanding is that they actually took them to a hospital as well.
Right.
But to summarize, it was found that it was the husband had visited a scientist.
Yes.
And I class them as scientists. I class myself as a scientist.
I understand what you mean. I totally understand what you are mentioning by a scientist.
Yes, because if you can put together two things and have a desired outcome, that's science.
You're right.
So, it turned out that it was the husband that had visited the scientist, and he had performed his works to find out whether the husband's wife was having an illicit affair, and sure enough, because of the work that was conducted.
Yeah, that was the proof.
Proof. We're beyond that. Now, would this, in your opinion, Baba, be classed as a negative thing or a positive thing in terms of the action and the outcome?
Okay.
Okay. As a husband coming to you asking you to do this, how would you view that?
Sandiata, you see, in Africa, we have all kind of things. I think that particular thing that has happened, I think, is in the Yoruba they call magu, in the sense that a cheating wife may be caught by a spirit to prove that really it is true. It's called. You say?
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Okay. So, what do you call it? In Benin, in Ghana, in Togo, we also have those things. But you see, to every spiritual thing, there is a positive and negative. To the woman, what has happened between herself and his secret lover or her secret lover is bad to them. But to the husband who is trying to find out whether the wife was having an illicit affair, it's a positive thing. So you cannot just classify everything as, oh, this is bad or this is good, because it depends on what is happening and who is benefiting. If you are the victim, to you is bad. But if you are the person who is sending the spirit or the proprietor of the spirit, then it is positive. So in spirituality, just as in life in general, there is nothing totally positive and there is nothing totally negative. It depends on your viewpoint. So for me, if a man comes to me that my wife is having an illicit affair and you should help me to catch her, I'll do a reading and then I'll tell you this, yes, it is true, no, it is not true. But what my old man had always told me is that I, as a person, should never put any spiritual padlock on any of my women, any of my wives, or people that I know that are part of me. Because if you do it, you may also face the same. Should you meet another woman somewhere, whether the woman is married or is not married, and she didn't tell you, and you have an affair, and if you are doing it, then it will happen to you too. So personally, I don't do, and I don't encourage people that, but I've seen a lot of people coming to me and asking me, but then I'll do a reading and I'll tell you, yes, she is. And if you think that you don't like her that way, then you must call her and warn her, or tell her if she thinks that she does not love you or she doesn't like you anymore, that she can just go to where she likes and be, so that you can also find someone who will like you. It's as simple as that. Because when you create an action, there is always a reaction. There is always an equal and opposite reaction. So whatever action you take in life, think about whatever reaction will happen in the future. And when you are comfortable with that, okay, even if that one happens to me or this is, I'm okay, then fine, take the action. This is why they don't give this kind of powers to everybody until you are properly trained and properly given the norms, the do's and the don'ts of the practice, so that you don't just go doing things. I've seen so many of these. Even my friend's wife, his own wife, another guy who was dating his wife, the guy rather put that spirit on his wife. And when he went and made love to his own wife, he nearly jumped himself into the well. Something just pushed, it was forcing him to jump into the well full of water, to drown himself. So these things are there, but because he also had passed through a lot of spiritual things, somehow the energies around him were also protecting him, so he didn't kill himself. Then finally he found out that the wife's lover was the one who put that thing on the wife to worry him. So these things are there, but then I personally will not encourage people to do this, because let us live our life as free as we can. If a person you identify that a woman doesn't like you, there are so many ways you can get her, but not necessarily by getting her stuck with her about anything. You could do things and she herself will just pack her bags and go out of the house and she won't come back, which is another way. You are free from her. And also women also come to spiritualists and say, oh, my husband is cheating or cheating on me and this and that, so I want to do this, I want to do that. So I want him, whenever he goes to sleep with another woman, his penis should not rise up, so that he can not make love to another woman unless he comes. Senor mele section meta ne abanaba tia. Mele section walk. This is my lifetime.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, because the call came in through and I'm struggling to correct it. So. Yeah, so women also come and ask people to help them so that their husbands will not be able to sleep with another woman. So it is not just one way whereby it's only men doing it, but women also are doing it. Thank you very much, Cindyata.
Thank you for your wisdom and great.
Thank you. Yes, so now please let me take some questions from Facebook and YouTube, and then I'll come back to Clubhouse. So please be preparing your question. When I come back, I'll ask. So we have Van Perry here. Hello, Papa. Is Zoka from the witches or from nature? Is Joka is from nature. It's not from witches. Witches are also part of nature. You know, a lot of people don't know what witchcraft is. They think that there are people who are flying out in the night. Witches are just like you and I, but what they do is they concentrate on negativity, so that their their mind concentrate on the negativity, so that negativity they use it to attack people. That's the only difference between who a witch is and who a witch is not. People who are always thinking of negative things to destroy other people automatically are qualified to be called witches. Then we have our sister Oluchi Osunwoke. Great evening, Papa, with peace and love. Thank you very much, Oluchi. We are very grateful that you joined us. From TNT, we are very grateful. Thank you very much. And then we have Sakidu Legion said, greetings, Toby. Greetings to you and the entire AMT family. Many blessings. And thank you very much, Sakidu, for joining us. Okay, move up. Let me see. Yeah, move it up. Yeah. Sakidu is down again. Yeah. So Sakidu is now saying there are many. Told me there are many jokers to deal with witchcraft, especially for protection. So why are sacrifices to be done always by the Bokors for protection against witches? Are the jokers not sufficient? Yeah, that's a very good question, Sakidu. You see, one thing is that people, that's why I was saying, people don't know what witchcraft is. There are jokers that people use and stop witches, but that doesn't stop them totally and completely from your life. They will still come. Witches are like policemen, or policemen at a barrier, or policemen driving in a car. When this policeman catches you, or this group of policemen caught you, and then accuse you or find a fault for you for not doing certain things. Okay, if you are in Africa, you probably will just give them money and say, okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to go to court, or I don't want to make this a big case, so please take this money and then let me go. Sometimes it may be in minor cases, but if they want to press it on you, the police could take you to the court, to face court, whereby you will be fined. But then if you give them something little and they take it, they will let you go. But that doesn't mean that in the front, if another policeman meets you or another group of policemen meet you on your way forward and they meet you, you cannot tell them because you have already met some policemen behind and you have settled them, so these ones too should just accept that way. No, that's how witches are. If a group of witches have caught you and you have find a way to do a ritual, feeding ritual and everything, and then your way is clear, that doesn't mean that witches will not come into your life again. Jokers that are used to destroy or kind of put witches away are only limited to certain areas that the joker has been put at. But for sure, you will move away from that locality or from that environment to another environment for sure. And in that other environment, there may be other witches whereby your joker, which you place in your house to protect your house, is not following you to that place. That is why in Afar, when witches appear in your reading, we ask you to settle them. And how do you settle them? You will ask them, what do they want from you? Why are they attacking you? And they will tell us in our reading, when the reader is a good reader, will tell you that, oh, this is what the witches want. And they will confirm it in front of you or wherever you may be asking for a reading. They'll ask the witches, so are you saying that if this person has given you this thing now, you will leave him and let him progress or let her progress? And then the witches will confirm and say yes. Sometimes they say no. And then they will ask them, do you want us to do something extra apart from the feeding? They say yes. And what is it they will direct? And then once those things are done, your way is free, at least for some time. So joker that people use to control witches are usually placed in your home or your offices so that the witch cannot really work out there strongly. But you move out from your office, you move to other places, and that doesn't mean witches are not there. Witches are everywhere, but you cannot control every witch. You cannot control them all the time. Sometimes they will disturb you, and when you find a way of compensating and appeasing them, they let you go. And sometimes they even support you now, so whatever you are doing, they will support you to find a way to it and become successful to it. So witches, as it is called in Ewe language, is Minanao or Miano, our mothers. They are part of us, they are part of God, they are part of nature, they are part of everything. And you cannot just think that you are throwing them away. And I tell you, the pastors who always say that they caught witches and all this, if they were not acting and pretending to be catching witches, those who really have some traditional powers and were using it to attack witches within their congregation, they will surely get ashamed one day. The witches will put themselves together and they will bring shame to you if they don't destroy you. There was a story of one of my cousin's auntie, who at one time, the father of my cousin, or my uncle, I may say, was seriously sick and was at the point of death. So they had to take him to a traditional priestess. And then that traditional priestess was attending to him and then found out that he had been attacked by a witch. And who was the witch? The witch was my uncle's wife. The wife that he married, who is with him in the house, was the one attacking her. But this, I say uncle's wife, no, uncle's sister, not the uncle's wife, is the uncle's sister. And this uncle's sister was married to a pastor, a very serious Presbyterian church pastor. But then the pastor also died. So when this lady was caught, my cousins went and the priestess said they should go and bring their auntie, their father's sister. So when they got there, the lady already knew, and she said, "Where are you people taking me?" And even at that time, she was blind. She could not see with the physical eye. So she asked the nephews and the nieces, where are you taking me to? So our father is seriously sick, and he wanted to see you and tell you something before he dies. And then the lady said, no, I know where you people are taking me, but I'll go with you. So they put her in a Peugeot car, private car. They were going, they got to somewhere, the engine just locked and the car won't move again. They waited and they were able to get another car. They rented the car and they put the auntie inside and they were going. When they got to the village where the priestess was, the car spoiled again. Another car spoiled, but they were able to bring her to the priestess where the brother was lying. He wasn't dead at that time. So then she confessed that actually she was the one killing him, and she was the one who killed the husband. That even at the church, the witches, they will urinate into the wine that they were serving people at the communion wine. They will urinate inside, spit inside, but then people will line up and be drinking that they are drinking a holy communion. The pastor, the congregation, and everybody thought that she was a pastor's wife, so she was a clean person. At least if the heaven's gate will be open, I think once the husband is going, she has to follow up on that line. But that was not it. And then she even told them that their father, she was the one who made his pennies not to be able to rise up to marry any other woman anymore. That's why all the wives left him, not to be able to have sex. Eventually, the lady died. Their father, my uncle, died. Now, when they say, okay, now your brother is dead, we want you to go back home. She said she will not go back home. You know why? Because she's afraid that when she gets back home, the congregation of witches are going to get angry with her for exposing them and they will kill her. So she said she would rather stay at the shrine and serve there. And the priestess said, no, you will not stay here. And then they fought over it until the nephews and the nieces were able to put her back into another car and send her back to the village. After they buried their father and everything finished, the woman never came out of her room again for a very, very, very long time. For many years, whatever had happened to her, she didn't die and nobody killed her, but she could not come out of her room to see daylight. But even if you are about 20 meters, 10 meters from her room, she will call your name without seeing you. She's in a room, but she knows it's you. So this is how powerful witchcraft is. So when you are dealing with witchcraft, don't think that you are dealing with a baby toy gun. You are dealing with a force of nature which is equally to God. They can do and undo. So the only thing that you can do to be safe and be able to do your work and also live and help people is to compensate them when they need compensation. That's all. Because witches will not just go and attack anyone without any reason. They have their reasons. Thank you very much, Sakiru. Bring it down. So Sakiru, that is what witches are. They are not baby toys and they are not toy guns. They are real force. And if you want to deal with them, you must deal with them in a very good, understanding way and also recognize them that they are also a force in nature. And it is not you, normal human beings. Even if you are having spiritual power, you must know how to deal with them. And then we have Oluchi, also okay again. We like the question, we like yes, Papa, that is how I grow. My tomatoes, I simply talk to them and they are growing beautiful. Thanks, Papa, for saying it. Peace and love. Thank you very much, Oluchi. Yes, of course, plants are, you have to relate to them and then they will show their beauty. When you love them, they know. If you don't show love to them too, they know. Thank you very much. And then we have Rashid Ajayi. I'm always happy anytime I see you online, Baba Revolution. Thank you very much, Rashid Ajayi. We are very grateful that you joined us. Then we have our sister Vivian Baka. Papa, how our ancestors get the knowledge of Voodoo? Yes, this is a very beautiful and interesting question. The ancestors got the Voodoos through Voodoos interacting with them. In the past, it was easier to meet spirits taking physical form and then teaching you. Like I had said in some of my lessons, when I was young, I had met a dwarf. Not with anybody, just on my own. I met a dwarf, but then I was not scared, and I tried to follow it and chase it, but it just disappeared from me. But then that meeting alone could be something that has triggered spirituality in me. From a very early age of about 6-7 years old, I met something in the forest in my grandfather's cocoa farm. Went to the toilet and I met this spirit passing by. Didn't talk to me or anything, but I saw it passing by and I was wondering what it was. I don't have any idea. It is not today that we have cartoons and everything there, so it was a cartoon figure or whatever. But it was something that I never knew or never heard anybody talking about it. But then I grew up to know that was a dwarf. It didn't take me away like in many people's stories that the dwarf will take you away and carry you to somewhere. But it did not take me away. And then from there, my desire for spirituality struggled to grow in spirituality. I think it also was sparked from that angle. So in the past, the Voodoos can appear to our ancestors and teach them. And then also sometimes they teach you in dreams. I haven't been taught in dreams a lot of things that I was taught in some of the things that I know I was taught in dreams, and then when I wake up and then I apply them, they work. So Voodoos will interact with you wherever you are, depending on how clean your heart is and how clean your mind is. And if they think that you are a selected person, a person that they can deal with and bring changes, they are there. Because spirits, as we the Ewe's call Voodoo, Voodoo as the general people call spirit, are also entities. The only thing with the difference between ourselves and them is that they are bodiless entities. They are all entities, but they are bodiless. They don't have a body. So they can choose to appear and they can choose to vanish at will. So when we are dealing with Voodoo, we should not think that they are just images we put there. They are real entities, but the image that we put them into, or the heads that we collect to be able to attract them to come and communicate with us are like telephones that connect ourselves to the spirit world or the psychic world and our physical world. There must be some physical representation that will make your mind also see that this is what you are dealing with. But in reality, they are just bodiless beings, all there in the universe. Billions and billions of them are all there, scattered everywhere, in every land, in every culture. They are not limited by time, space, or person. They could be anywhere at any time. And if they are working with you, you will be able to work with them and send them and let them come back to you and give you results. And that's how spirits have been discovered. Even today, spirits are still discovering people, and people are still discovering spirits. They are not yet finished that only the old spirits that had existed before are the only spirits or the Voodoos in the world. There are new Voodoos coming out every day, depending on human beings' interaction with the psychic plane, and then things begin to materialize on the physical plane. So, Vivian, that's what it is. And I think replying to Vivian Baka, hello, Papa, Henry Hansen. Vivian Baka, Virginia is the house. Okay, you people live in the same place? Oh, great. Yeah, yes, and then I'm going back to YouTube now. I think today the sections are getting very interesting. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, and then we have where are we now? Nuku Ameibo is the last person here. Papa, does being a vegetarian have any effect on spirituality? Yes and no. What do I mean by yes? It depends on what kind of spirituality you are practicing. When you are practicing Oriental spirituality like Hinduism, yoga, Tantra yoga, Buddhism, and all these things, it is also advised in their discipline that people should not kill things, which is called ahimsa, non-violent, so that you should not be violent towards animals. So in their teaching, you are advised not to be eating meat, so you should be a vegetarian. I had been a vegetarian for over 10 to 15 years at the time when I was practicing Hindu-related spirituality as Tantra yoga. But then, honestly, it did not help me. Why I say it did not help me? I lost my weight, my strength, and my everything. I looked so pale all these years, and finally, when I left yoga and Tantra, I started eating egg, and then slowly, I started eating fish and meat, and I have